Good evening, Nick. It's Friday, and it's like 11:20 right now, and I almost totally forgot to make a video. I don't know why it totally escaped my mind until right after I did my dinner dishes. What, I eat dinner really late at night? Sue me. So if this seems a little rushed, it's probably because it is, so try not to get too mad. So Nick, I really liked your argument about like Terra Union and how the world would come together because the internet disrupts systems, so we kind of have a unifying force. But you know what? Since we're just presenting our opinions with no kind of fact, I'm going to come out and just say, I think you're wrong about how this is going to work out. Ultimately, Nick, I don't believe that the internet's going to unite the world and bring it together. At least not in the short to medium term, maybe in the very, very long term. But I think that in the short term to medium term, it's actually going to divide the world even further, and the world's going to close in upon itself. We see this happening right now in countries like China and Turkey, where repressive, well, I don't think Turkey's really a repressive regime, at least not in the same sense that China is. But Turkey's also got its own fair share of problems. But there's a lot of censorship on the internet, and also in like Egypt and just a lot of countries where leaders don't want the internet, and so there's a lot of censorship and there's a lot of abuse of how the internet works and a lot of controls on how the internet works. And it's not really, while it's bringing large parts of the world together, it's also making some areas of the world kind of isolate themselves. And not only that, Nick, but I don't feel like the world's going to come together in the way you want it to, because that's not traditionally how the world kind of comes together. Now, this is totally uncharted territory, so it could be the exception, whereas like the rest of history is the rule. But for the most part, like large unitings of the world require a lot of brute force. Like your European Union's like really an exception, and even that's like an abundance of asterisks to rules and exceptions to rules in order to keep all the member states happy. It's not a whole bunch of people just following all the same rules, because it really just isn't that. CGP Grey did an awesome video on it, and I think you should go watch it right now. But when Spain united, and when Germany united, and even the United States, when it became a more singular country and not the antebellum nation that it had been, like that happened through force. Bismarck in Germany, there was Ferdinand and Isabel in Spain, there was Abraham Lincoln in the United States. And no, nobody ever wants to think of Abraham Lincoln as like this conqueror uniter, but it's kind of how the Civil War a little bit worked out, and it's centralizing kind of plan, way, method thing. And so yeah, it's not a small, easy process, but I mean there's this interesting thing nowadays called nuclear weapons, and so the force card is not really the same or nearly as viable in today's environment. And let's face it, small areas don't necessarily want to give up their sovereignty. At least not usually willingly, and historically it just doesn't really happen that way. Maybe I'm wrong and the world will come together in a more peaceful economic and political and cultural union, but I just don't feel like it'll be that simple or that easy. I really just don't, Nick. I'm not optimistic. But hey, I've been wrong before, and I'll see you on Friday.